Today we're talking about Rick Sanchez. Today on Good Morning Soul, I'm doing a character study, and I'm almost hesitant to do this episode because, this character obviously has not had a full arc. I think, maybe even one day I'll do, a part 2 to this, just because I really don't know if I can, fully give a good enough character study of this character in one episode. But Rick Sanchez, the main character of Rick and Morty. And I don't even know where to begin. I fell in love with Rick and Morty maybe 6 or 7 months ago, something like that. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with the show. I've watched every episode at least twice, all 3 seasons. Some episodes, the Rick Lantis and Morty Mind Blowers episodes, I've seen 5-6 times. I fucking love those episodes, and I love Rick, who's probably one of my favorite characters ever now, just because how entertaining he is, and how much I would throw Rick and Morty on just to be in the background, and part of that is because I love these characters so much. And Rick is probably easily the best character of the show. Basically, Rick is this super genius mad scientist who's I don't know, something happened to him and now he's just a drunk asshole, and he's going on crazy adventures with Morty, and at the same time he doesn't care about Morty. He has he can get another Morty any day. But you can see, at the end of the day, there is, this level of him that cares about things. He cares about these people. But at the same time, he doesn't give a shit about anything. And he's just kind of a fucking monster. He will ruin entire universes and realities and just kind of shape them to his will. And kind of, not even give a shit afterward. And you can see this is really taking a toll on him. There is one episode where he, doesn't really care if he dies. He basically tried to commit suicide, and to no avail. And there's multiple instances of that, and he's still afraid of death, don't get me wrong. There was a moment where he tried to give his life for Morty, at least one of his realities did, and he obviously didn't want to die. He did try to accept death for a second, and then he was oh fuck it, never mind. He's fuck you, God. He has obviously you could just watch a Rick Sanchez best of this character highlight reel and have a much better knowledge of this character and see all of his best moments. I just watched one of those for preparation, and there's so many I love how prepared he is for shit too. His arm just gets bitten off one time and he's well, let me just put another arm on there. And it's stated in an episode he's really fucking robotic, cybernetic, that we didn't even know about. All these little things that Rick and Morty just drops on you, this is whatever. And his relationship with Beth, his relationship with Jerry, with Summer, with Morty, obviously they're all very dynamic, complex relationships. With Morty, that's kind of his sidekick, but at the same time it's kind of this father-son figure, and it's kind of he's gonna bring Morty along for whatever reason for all these adventures. He's fascinated with Morty, but at the same time he kind of hates Morty. And then with Summer, that's kind of the alternate Morty, and he will shit on her just like he would anyone else. And then with Jerry, he just destroys Jerry. He'll be I don't like your genetics in my grandchildren. And he's the exact opposite of Rick. He despises what Jerry is as a person, but at the same time there was that episode where they went on that weird mind bend. He understands Jerry, and he just doesn't like him, but they have grown on each other. And with Beth, he's this terrible father, but he tries to be a good father, and part of that he's so egotistical. He's oh, you're my daughter, you have potential, so I'll just keep you around in the background. As fucked up as that is, but how many great moments has Rick had? He started entire universes to start his car battery, or spaceship battery, I should say. And then he'll go on these. He'll fuck up a lot of the time too. Like people act like he's like this absolute character, but a lot of the time it's convenient writing. He fucks up so many times, and he's fucked up so many realities. Like the Cronenberg episode where he's like, well, I didn't do it right. On to the next universe. And there's so many other instances, like when he got drunk in the whole the Avengers episode, Vindicators. And there's so many instances like that. And he has a million good one-liners. And I love the fact that he's literally drunk the entire show. Like, he literally never isn't drunk. He did, like, slow down on the whole burping. Like, season 1 Rick is a little bit more different. He's a little bit more, like, not as coherent. And that's, that can be seen easily. But as the series progresses, like, he becomes a little bit more stable, if that makes sense. Not stable. He's still, like, getting arrested in the Szechuan sauce and all those crazy adventures. But he's not burping. He's not, like, saying Morty at the end of every sentence. He'll be like, he's like, grab that suitcase, Morty. He's like, what are we doing here, Morty? Like, I love that he would say people's name at the end of every sentence. I love that. It's such a, like, funny little thing, but it really, like, for some reason, like, puts his punctuation on the end of all of his sentences when he says their name like that. He'll just be like, God damn it, Morty. And just the way he says it is so funny. Like, Justin Roiland's performance as Rick is, like, so gold and so, like, easy. Like, it's weird how, like, easy he's able to make this character. I know he, like, gets drunk just to perform it, but maybe that says something. Like, voice acting a lot of the times, like, is harder work than actual acting, because they have to be, like, these characters who are so much more than just people. Like, Rick Sanchez is not, like, an ordinary person, so he's not gonna talk like an ordinary person, whereas Jerry is gonna talk like an ordinary person. But Rick, like, he's so many things, like the Doc Brown comparison, and, like, there's so much great fan art of Rick and Morty. Like, if you saw my screensaver episode, like, I have, like, at least 20 Rick and Morty wallpapers, and there's so much we don't know about him. We did get a backstory for him at the beginning of season 3, I believe, and it literally just got erased right after it. Like, we don't know if that was his actual backstory or not, because his, wife died. And then he was like, if it's fucking real, I could have made it up. I love when we do that, like, with the Joker from Dark Knight Rises, how he has, like, multiple backstories and it doesn't make sense. It's the same thing for Rick. I think that is an amazing storytelling device, and it leaves it open to interpretation while also, like, a plausible reason why this character is the way they are. And I encourage any and all, like, characters you're able to do that with to do that, especially characters like Rick, who should be mysterious because he's so, like, crazy. And just look at, like, the Rick Lantis episode. Technically all of those characters are Rick and Morty, and it's like there's so many alterations of this character at that point that it's like, how is this not, like, one of the greatest characters of all time? Like, this show is nothing without Rick. Like, the concepts, the sci-fi, all the events, the portal guns, the friendships and relationships, the strange characters like Birdman and Mr. Poopy Butthole. None of this would happen, like, if it wasn't for Rick. And Rick, like, I love how he just brushes off crazy shit all the time. Like, obviously Morty is, like, new to all of this, and we as an audience are new to this world, and we're slowly, like, it's slowly becoming the norm just as much as it is a norm for Morty. Like, these crazy things happen and he's just not impressed with it anymore. He's not screaming, oh jeez, Rick, anymore. Like, he's becoming more grounded, and we see, like, Rick adapting to that. He still kind of thinks Morty is, like, this dumb little shit, but Morty, like, has outsmarted Rick before just because he knows Rick so well. So I think they're having, like, a very, like, all of that I think is going to collide somewhere down the line. And I really hope there's at least 10 seasons of Rick and Morty, because if there isn't, I'm gonna be very, very sad, because I fucking love the show so much. And it doesn't have to have that many episodes to be this amazing show, but the fact that they reference 9 seasons makes me really hope that there's gonna be that many seasons. It's if Family Guy and fucking South Park and Simpsons can get 20 seasons, why can't I just get 9 seasons of Rick and Morty? I really hope it becomes the next long-lasting show. I pray that that's what we're gonna get, because I just love this show so much. This was the last great thing I experienced, the last show that just gave me a high and a 10 out of 10 feeling you get from watching these types of shows. And I just love seeing Rick, and him as a character. He's not even progressed all that much since this show started, but he doesn't need to. But anyway, I love him. His concept design is really simple. He has this unibrow, he has a lab coat, he has this crazy hairstyle, but it's an instantly recognizable look. And he's got the beady eyes and teeth that comes with this, and he has that fucking drool on his face. I love that. He's that really goes along with this idea of him being this drunk. The first episode of Rick and Morty tells you the first 10 minutes of this character gives you everything you need to know about this character. And there's so many other cool things. He's such a manipulative asshole too, and he's he has this soft spot at the end, and there's so many things I could say about this character. 𝘊𝘊𝘢𝘺𝘢, I believe that's his number. That is the rickest Rick of them all, and there's so many analysis videos about him that I've seen already that really just tell you everything you need to know about this character. I would really recommend watching those. The one by Screen Prison, Wisecrack, they have a bunch of Rick and Morty philosophy episodes that you can check out. They can do a much better job than I can in this very early morning podcast style. But yeah, I think that's everything I'm gonna say about Rick in this episode. He's such a great character. I love even the little details that they'll have, Rick never wears his seatbelt, but Morty always wears his seatbelt. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Rick Sanchez, one of my favorite characters of all time. He is amazeballs. He is so interesting. Everything about this character I love. I love every detail that they've put into him. All the layers they've added to his personality and his backstory over time. His relationships with every character. It's great. Anyway, thank you for listening as always, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another episode of Good Morning Soul. And with that, I leave you.